Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up today on the young and the restless Danny and Daniel. Part ways again. Tessa and Abby have a run-in with Ion, and Jordan decides to take matters into her own hands. All products and services feature are independently chosen by editors, however. So.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At the Avot mansion, Jack joins Kyle for lunch at the table where he's working on a work project. His son says he's grateful to be back at Jabot, where he belongs. Jack couldn't agree more. Kyle can't believe he came so close to blowing up his life. Jack crows that he turned his life around and came back to them. That's what he wants to focus on. Kyle's grateful. Jack asks about his work and whether he can help. Kyle hands over a proposal for the sunscreen moisturizer that he stole from them when he was at Glissade at Chancellor. CLA makes notes. As Nikki talks, she tells her to make sure marketing takes Abbott off the communications. Claire notices her grandmother is out of sorts. She heard there was a visitor at the ranch from her past. Nikki says it was Ion Ward. He's awful, and she hoped to never see him again. Claire says her mother warned her to be on guard. Nikki says that apart from Jordan, no one has tormented her more. She says he's a living nightmare and cannot be trusted. If CLA ever comes across him, she should not engage. One of his worst crimes is preying on young women. I was one of many. I was a teenage when I first met him. Claire and Nikki agree that Ion and Jordan are cut from the same cloth. Jordan walks into Crimson Lights in disguise as Esther is leaving Sharon a frantic voicemail to get in touch. She asks if there is anything she can do to help. Esther explains that the person who owns the place is missing. She can't discuss it, but she's very worried about her. Jordan asks if the police are involved. Does anyone know what happened to her at Society? Abby seats Danny and Daniel at a table. Daniel tells his dad he wishes he could stay longer. They agree that Sharon going missing is unnerving and discuss the cops boosting Daniel's security detail at the bar. Tessa tells Abby that Sharon's car was found in the river, but they are trying to think positive. Abby asks if she's had any more asthma attacks. Tessa hasn't and never felt that way before. She marvels that the one man Maura hates more than anyone saved her. Abby says it's too convenient with Iron Ward. You can't trust anything. Ion watches through the window as they talk at Danny's table. Daniel doesn't know what to make of Sharon's disappearance. His father urges him to fly out for his last few shows with Lucy. Daniel balks, but Danny pushes. Meanwhile, Ion walks inside clutching his Bible and eavesdrops as Abby tells Tessa that he's a snake whose list of crimes is endless. Tessa can't believe she got sucked into talking to him. Abby feels that what happened to her doesn't make sense. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time to save Maria's wife's life. Tessa can't disregard him saving her life. Shows himself. I'm so glad I was able to save you. Hein tries to chat up Abby and tells Tessa he's kept her in his prayers. She's grateful that he helped her, but she knows his real name in history now and has doubts about his intentions. Ion meant what he said. She and Maria are blessed with a beautiful family. Tessa reminds him Mariah asked him to stay away from their family, and she has to ask the same. Abby backs her up and says it's her restaurant. He needs to leave and never come back. At Danny's table, Daniel doesn't want to pull Lucy out of school now that she's back in a routine. Danny understands Daniel would send her on tour if he thought it would help, but he can't be away from her again. At the Abbott mansion, Kyle apologizes to his father for stealing the formula. Jack understands why he lashed out at them and feels Victor provoked him. Kyle did what he thought would endear him to Victor and undermine them. Jack points out he figured out a way to get inside Victor's twisted mind. It's water under the bridge and they need to move on. Kyle has to ask, did he actually consider taking legal action against him? Diane appears and says Jack didn't, but I did. Kyle's appalled. Diane says she saw it as a way to bring them back to them. Kyle supposes he can't fault her for that. Diane admits she and Jack had opposing views about it and used it to make it seemed that their marriage was falling apart. You broke the law, Kyle knows. And he apologizes. Jack wants to put it all behind them and explains Kyle's putting the product back where it belongs. They all agree to focus on the future of the family. Diane has something else to discuss, adds Kyle's mother. She's aware of his relationship with CLA and that she spent the night there. She asks if he's planning to talk to Aaron about this. You should know what's going on between them at Chancellor. Nikki continues telling Claire about her run-ins with Ion Ward. He nearly destroyed me. She adds that his time in prison emboldened him, and he came back again to terrorize them. He's launched many attacks on Newman and even set fire to the Newman Towers. No one was hurt, but it could have ended very differently. Claire's glad Victor's stepped up security. Nikki says her husband will do anything to get Ion out of their lives, just like he did with Jordan. Nikki compliments Claire's latest report, and the young woman is pleased. I learn from the best. That's you, by the way. Nikki asks her to get them lats from Crimson Lights, so Claire heads out at Crimson Lights. Esther appreciates Jordan's support, but there's not much they can do. She takes her order for oolong tea as well as a triple shot Americano to go. Jordan says she'll wait on the patio. Sitting at the table, Jordan looks at photos of Kyle and Claire on her phone and stews. Just then Claire comes into the coffee house and Jordan hears her greet Esther, who then goes into the kitchen. At Society, Danny and Daniel agree to daily video calls while the tour continue. Daniel thinks it's best he and Lucy try to continue their lives with their new normal. Danny muses, without Heather. He thinks his son is an incredible father. I hope you realize how proud I am of you. At the door, Ion is ushered out by Abby and Tessa. He knows he's done terrible things, but he's willing to work to win back the trust of those he's wronged. Addie calls him a liar. Ion talks about desperately wanting forgiveness from others and wanting a chance to start over. He asks before he goes if they've heard anything from Sharon. Tessa says, I'm afraid not. Ion hopes God blesses them both and keeps them safe. With that, he totters out with an evil smirk. Abby warns Tessa not to let him get under her skin. Danny tells Daniel he has to pick up Cricket and head to the airport. He and Daniel embrace as they agree this doesn't get any easier. Daniel's glad to have spent this time with him. Danny urges him to call and keep him posted. They express their love and Danny leaves. At the Avot mansion, Kyle tells Diane that Harrison adores Claire and will have no problem with their relationship. Diane and Jack worry that he sees her as the nanny and may have hopes of his parents getting back together. Kyle will talk to his son. Jack suggests he do it sooner rather than later. Kyle sees no reason to wait. Diane asks if he and Harrison will stay there. Kyle confirms this is their home at Crimson Lights. Jordan puts her phone away as she listens to Claire and Esther chat about her working with Nikki. At Chancellor, Esther steps away and give Jordan her order. Claire hears Esther say it out loud and Claire's head snaps up as she realizes it's Jordan's usual. By the time she looks at the patio, Jordan has hustled out the door after Esther asks CLA if everything is okay. Claire frowns at woman. She decides it's nothing and places her order. Esther wants to hear all about her and Kyle. Claire turns back toward the patio and frowns at Society. Abby prepares to leave. She tells Tessa if Fan Ward comes back to call her after Daniel and Tessa agree that New Year's is off to a weird start. He admits he's feeling a little sorry for himself. I feel like everyone I love leads me. Tessa thinks that makes sense under the circumstances. Daniel asks about her asthma attack. Tessa is physically all right. Daniel news is that out of nowhere she couldn't breathe. Tessa can't help but think there's more to what happened. Jordan returns to the motel with the order from Crimson Lights and tells the closed bathroom door, you won't believe what happened. She saw me. She says they have to move and get to work on this plan. Chop chop. She keeps calling his name. Knocks and then opens the bathroom door. Realizing he's not there, Jordan newses, so you disappeared. She there's no note. Where are you? How further of your own agenda? I assume when will he